All right, testing 1 2, testing 1 2.
What's the matter, Rick? Scared?
Testing, 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 testing. Alright guys, welcome to another stream. Yeah, it's October. For all this month, I'm gonna be doing streams on Tuesday mornings, East Coast Standard Time, or Eastern Standard Time, so if you're out there watching, welcome. It's super early for me. I just worked all night. I'm not used to streaming on work days, at least not on YouTube. So, hey, Red Dwarf, NES Addict, Drowns in Kool-Aid, and Mark. Oh, and Tony. Hey, Tony. Yeah, so basically what's going to happen here, guys, we're going to be playing the 2010 reboot of Splatterhouse, and I should mention, if you are watching this at work or something like that, this game probably isn't safe for work. We are not playing the classic Splatterhouse. I know the classic Splatterhouses could be gory as well, but this new one takes it to a totally different, totally other level. So you guys have been warned, and to anyone just watching this on the archive, you've also been warned as well. I know a lot of... I know I do some violent games on here, but I don't do a lot of modern games, and so you guys don't see, you know, video game violence as, well, as far as it can be taken. So this is definitely one of the more violent ones you will see. So if you're a dad or mom watching with your kids, I don't know, you might want to watch something else. So you guys have been warned. Have I played this before? Oh yeah, no, I've played the hell out of this. Yeah, I bought this when it first came out, and really enjoyed it. Hey, Oliver, how you doing, man? Yeah, it's probably easier for some of you guys to make these streams when I do them, you know, early Tuesday morning like this, because several of you folks are over there in the United Kingdom, and you're like 5 or 6 hours ahead of me, so, you know, it's about 8:30 my time right now. It's probably 2 or 2:30, 3 o'clock your time. So, yeah. As usual, guys, before I get into the game, I want to give a big shout out to the current Patreon backers and whatnot. Updated the list as of today. We actually lost one, unfortunately. I will not mention his name, but it is a sad day for Patreon. It is what it is. I think it's actually my first Patreon loss, but still, thank you guys for supporting this channel. And we're going to flip over to the Super Chat patrons as well. So these are the most recent Super Chatters as up to this past Thursday when I did my Doom stream for the Jaguar. So, yeah, we're gonna play this game. And what's going to happen is I hope to beat the game. It's not going to happen in the same sitting. What I'm thinking is we're going to do this in 2 sittings. I think I can do that. I think I can do it. I might actually need to turn this down just a notch or 2 just to be safe. So yeah, one thing that's actually really cool about this game is very rough around the edges, I should mention, but one thing that is pretty cool about it is if you go to Classics, as you play the main campaign, you unlock the original Splatterhouse games. The first one is actually the arcade version, not the TurboGrafx one, and then part 2 is part 2 in the Genesis, and then part 3 is part 3 in the Genesis, but they made some modifications and they redid the some of the you know, the pre-rendered digitized photos and whatnot, and they like smoothed them out and they redrew them in certain cases, which is kind of interesting. So so yeah, I just wanted to point that out first. We're not going to be playing those. I've got Let's Plays of all those games on my channel if you guys are interested in that. And we're just going to do story mode, and we're going to start a brand new game. We're going to say no, I want to play it like as if you were playing for the first time. What we're going to do is we're going to put it on the default. Well, actually, I think default is coward. If you do play this game for the first time, I actually do recommend the easiest difficulty mode, because it is a very tough game, mainly from the beginning. Like, you don't have that many abilities from the beginning. The game isn't very descriptive on what you should be doing or certain special attacks that you can be using that will really help you. So I recommend starting off on the easiest, and I think this is actually one of those games where you can bump up the difficulty like mid-game. I don't think you have to stay to the same difficulty the whole way through. Alright, and you've got some different masks you can play with. We're on the Xbox 360, so we can do the exclusive mask. You've also got the classic TurboGrafx 16 mask. They changed the mask from the traditional hockey white mask to a red mask in the TurboGrafx version, at least in North America. So we're just gonna go with the terror mask. I don't think the masks really do anything.
Make a wish? Okay. I want
oh, nice.
To be together
so Cabal had to be up early today. Very cool. Yeah, and the loading in this game is absolutely awful. So hopefully I don't die too much, but even if I do, I don't think it's going to be too big of a deal. I actually ran through this on Twitch about 2 weeks ago, so this is still pretty fresh in my mind. We actually ran through it in one sitting. It took me like 8 to 8.5 hours.
He took your girl, Rick. He took your dreams. And he took your life. Dr. Henry West, MD. He took it all. Only thing you got left is your soul. And that belongs to me. Who am I? Let's just say I'm God. Your God. At least the only God that's listening right now. What do I want? Same as any God. A little faith. For without faith, I am nothing. And without me, you're fucked. She doesn't have to die. I can help you. I can heal your wounds. We can save her if you show me some faith, if you trust me, if you put me on.
Mark, I'd love to do Hagane eventually. I've never finished it, but it's on my list of things to do for sure. Dracula XX, yeah, I absolutely have. Yep. I've done a dedicated Let's Play on it, and I've done a couple of live streams here too. So just search for Castlevania on my channel, and you'll find it.
The pain. There's a lot more of it to come.
What have you done to me? What am I? What am I?
You're mine, Rick.
Jen.
Until Jen's back safe in your arms. You're mine.
Yeah, Oliver, that happens to me a lot too with new games. It's one reason I don't actually buy that many new games anymore. Because I just,
Satan's
I'll play just a part of it and then never go back. But this one I played all the way through when I first got it.
Me, I'm inhabiting you.
And then I ended up finishing it 2 more times afterwards. I really enjoyed it.
And I help you get your girl back.
But man, it was tough to get into at first. The first couple of hours were brutal because of those load times and just some poor design choices. But once it clicked, it clicked, and I enjoyed it a lot. Hi, Pi. How's it going?
It is good to finally be free. Come on, let's go kill something. It's been too long, and I'm way out of practice.
What do you mean it's been too long? It's only been 2 weeks for me. So basically this right here is just a demonstration of what your, like, I don't even know what you call it, your panic, maniac mode is like, your special mode. This is something you can activate on command later on in the game, as long as you've got, you know, your super meter charged up enough. You'll also notice there's a numerical counter on the left-hand side of the screen. It's basically how much blood I'm getting from these guys. Blood is basically money. It's like your currency in this game, I should say. Not really money, but it's your currency. And you use that to unlock abilities. And so you start off pretty basic, but you can use the blood accumulated to unlock new moves and whatnot. Some extremely useful moves don't become available until a couple of levels in, unfortunately. Which is why when you beat the game and you decide to start a new game, there is an option to keep all of your unlocked abilities. So that's why, like, subsequent playthroughs can be a little more enjoyable than the first one, because you've already got everything.
Humans are so fragile. See, you're still weak. We have to take it slower. Build your strength.
Yeah, possibly Berserk mode. Okay. Yeah, so I mean, you basically got, you got light punch, yeah, you've got heavy punch, and if you hold your attacks, you'll do stronger versions of them, like this. The heavy punch in particular is quite powerful. Using the R trigger allows you to dash, like so. And, I don't have the move yet, but, you can eventually, you know, like, ram into enemies, and it's a very powerful attack. You've also got a roll, although honestly I didn't really use it that much when I play this game, but it is there. It's probably actually really good to do that in the beginning. The boar worms from the old Splatterhouse games, the little like pinkish worms, they are in this game, but they're not enemies. They're just like these little objects you can run on top of, and they'll give you some blood as well. Let's go ahead and hit, oh, we can't even go to our menu yet. Alright, so we'll just come up this way.
What are you? I don't know anything about you.
You set me free. I owe you. That's all you need to know.
Oh, cool, Red Dwarf. Picked up Halo 5. Nice.
And somehow I don't care. Believe what you want.
Alright, it's gonna be one of our, you know, our first real fight.
Waste up.
So when enemies turn red, there's gonna be this like glowing aura around them, and you can press your throw move to basically do instant kills. And very, very important in this game. You can see I'm already taking a lot of damage. And don't be surprised if I die here, at least once. There we go. So basically what happens is a quick time event comes up. And you'll do this extremely violent death move. And you actually get a little bit of health back for it, which is why it's so important. Man, I think he's dead. There we go. Yeah, and there's ability I don't even have yet. You're supposed to be able to, pretty sure it's left trigger and B. And, it's supposed to do this, like, blood-sucking attack. And I'm dead. See, I knew I was gonna die. But they don't give it to you, like, right in the very beginning. I was trying to use it, and it wasn't doing anything. So that's why the beginning of the game is probably the hardest part of the game. Which is probably one of the worst mistakes you can do, you know, in designing a game, is, you know, making the beginning, like, the hardest to get into. You know, you kind of want to ease in on the difficulty, but this game just throws you in on the deep end. And with the long load times and things like that, and the checkpoint system, it could be very, I don't know. It could take a while to get used to it and get the hang of it, and it could be a turnoff in the beginning. So we're just going to have to rely on this in this first room. But yeah, you're supposed to be able to do, I think it's, again, L and B. As long as you have a, at least one of those blocks in your red bar. As long as one block is filled, you can do it, and you'll get a bunch of health back. I'm just trying to play it safe. Oh no, there it is. So they are giving it to me. I don't know why it wasn't working the first time. It's not like you have to time it right or anything. You just press L and B together. And I remember the exact same thing happened when I was streaming this on Twitch a few weeks back. As I tried doing the maneuver, but it wasn't working. I was like, what the hell is going on? It's almost like they don't even activate it until partway through the fight. Either that or it's just buggy, which that actually wouldn't surprise me. I have actually had this game crash on me, so it's got some polish issues here and there, to say the least. Oh yeah, I agree, Drowns and Kool-Aid. It's a shame this was never released on PC. I would be totally okay with that if it was on PC. Hell, I'd be playing it on PC right now if it was.
Jennifer! Dinner.
So these guys, a lot of times you can just kill them in one hit just with a throw. You can just press the B button to throw them, or do a grapple move. These are sort of like your little popcorn enemies that appear throughout the game. They don't really take many hits. Although there are different colored variants of them. It's the different colored variants that can be extremely dangerous.
Oh, pass blocked. Find another way around. Try breaking through.
Alright, so here's another fight.
Get a load of this thing, huh?
I'm gonna try to exit. Got it. That room is a little weird. I'm gonna go ahead and just drop this. Weapons do break in this game, so it's probably about to break anyway. Yeah, that room is a little weird. Like, that fireplace will close back up on you when you're trying to exit. Remember the screaming memes from Splatterhouse 2? Yeah. The heavily overused enemy type. Those guys were everywhere in Splatterhouse 2. Yeah, those heads definitely look like a homage to Evil Dead 2. That was the first thing I thought. Absolutely. I don't remember House. I know I saw it when I was a kid, but I don't remember anything about it nowadays, unfortunately. So, yeah, I never saw the Japanese House from the 70s, but I did see the 1986 one.
Oh, my arm! Jesus, Rick, get it together. I asked you to trust me. First sight of blood, you're crying like a schoolgirl. For a dick, you are such a pussy.
Best Splatterhouse? Personally, I feel the original arcade game is the best one. By a long shot, honestly.
Get hurt too bad, and it's game over. Too much damage will kill us. And when I say us, I mean you.
Yeah, so when you lose an arm or something like that, as long as you're not dead, it will come back. It just takes a few moments.
From the Journal of Dr. Henry West. My theories in necrobiology find little favor with the sensibilities of this modern age.
Part 2 is the best soundtrack. I don't have to say to each their own on that one. All right, what am I doing wrong here? Maybe this door? Yeah. I'd say Splatterhouse 2 probably has the best soundtrack if you just want to listen to music. But in terms of like the actual backing sound track to the game, like as far as providing a creepy mood, it would be Splatterhouse 1 arcade. Like the sounds in that game are just a trip. Alright, so these guys you typically can't throw all the time. Sometimes you try to throw them, they'll like get out of your grapple. And the game basically tells you, it's good to try to just use heavy attacks on them. And there we go. Get a little bit of health back. So I actually had the opportunity there to do an instant kill. Oh, I still do. Did he die? Yeah, he's dead. Okay, never mind. I can do an instant kill on this one.
Getting closer. I can smell West. No mistaking that tang of insanity. Ooh, pretty girl of yours. I can smell her too. Oh, she smells good. Terror, confusion, panic. I like her.
Jennifer!
You lost her.
Where do we go now?
Get off!
Down there, down there.
What should I do?
The key, it's blood. It's all.
Alright, that gives us all our health back. And it still looks like we haven't actually gained access to our upgrades yet, unfortunately. Which is kind of a shame. I'd like to go ahead and just upgrade some stuff right now. I never saw Reanimator. I heard that was pretty good. Yeah, speaking of Lovecraftian, there's actually quite a few Lovecraftian references in this game.
Oh, disgusting.
Hell, I think they even mentioned it directly.
I know these people. We took stats together last semester.
They're better off dead, Rick. West's experiments already in their minds. They're just crushing the shell.
Watch on YouTube sponsor at the top of the chat is about. That might have something to do with the new sponsorship functionality that was incorporated. I enabled a function on my channel because apparently YouTube gave me the ability to, where people can sponsor my channel. It's basically like subbing to my channel monetarily. I think it's like $5 a month or something like that. This is something that Twitch does. Twitch uses the subscription model, or they call it subscriptions. Of course, YouTube can't call them subscriptions because they've already had subscriptions in place in a different form for a long time. Subscribing on YouTube is basically following on, like, on Twitch. So YouTube basically aped the Twitch subscription model where channels can, people can pay to subscribe to a channel with a few different benefits. And that's what that sponsorship thing is, I think. I don't expect anybody to actually do it, but people do it on Twitch. I've got like I think like 15 to 18 subscribers on Twitch right now. So that's basically what that is. If someone becomes a sponsor on YouTube, I guess they might get featured in the chat. They'll also, I don't know if the channel is going to be ad-free or something like that. That's how Twitch does it. But if I get at least two sponsors, they'll give me a custom emotes I can activate in my chat. I'm not sure what I would do for that. I have my cat as the custom emote on Twitch, which is pretty funny. People like that a lot. There we go. Yeah, if you guys see this, like a sponsorship button or something like that, that's the new paid subscription sponsor model, whatever the hell you want to call it. It's basically equivalent to these subscriptions over at Twitch. So someone can pay to sub to their favorite channels, and basically that money goes directly to the creator, or the streamer in this case. It's something that fits for live streaming. It's not really something that, I don't think it really does anything for offline, not offline viewing, but just like dedicated video content. I could be wrong. I hope that makes sense. I can try to explain it better later. Yeah, if you know of the Twitch subscription thing, it's the exact same thing, basically. Except, the only thing I'm not 100% on is that on Twitch, if you subscribe to a channel, you get their channel ad-free. And Twitch has a lot of ads. On YouTube, I don't know if you'll get that channel ad-free if you do the subscription or sponsorship. So what's funny about these guys, you can actually use their heads as weapons, and they're the most powerful weapons in the game. There we go, now we can upgrade. Unfortunately, this upgrade, this is one of my favorite upgrades right here. We can't get it until a couple of levels in. So we're gonna do health. And... why not? All right. Oh, his head disappeared. What a shame.
No! Johnny!
No.
What is...
I just realized I should have made my Twitch border red for Halloween. Or for my October streams. It's just the usual gray border. Yeah, it's actually kind of nice for playing this, though, because I have had some people ask me if I played this, and now, basically, this allows me to not only play it for you guys live and show you what the deal is with this game, but I also have a full archive of the game on my channel. You know, these live streams are really good for games that I don't really want to Let's Play. I don't really like Let's Playing games that are more than, you know, an hour and a half or 2 hours long. I'm kind of trying to get away from doing multi-part Let's Plays, and being able to do a live stream or two with this allows me to still play through the game and talk about it like it's a Let's Play, but in a live format. Okay, get up, Rick.
Keep it coming.
Oh, okay, cool. Thanks, Red Dwarf, for clarifying that. I would have clicked the button myself, but unfortunately, I don't think it's gonna allow me to on my own channel.
Ciphers, ancient symbols of power, illuminated by blood.
Yeah. Well, Tony, the thing about this game is that it was really hard to get into. The beginning was very rough. And there's a bunch of other problems with the game, like very long load times and things like that. And it's a very challenging game, too. You know, so you get a lot of those people out there that don't really, or they're not that great at these, you know, action games, these more old-school style action games. Because this is kind of an old-school style beat-em-up in a way. It's that type of action game. I mean, just look at this right now. We've got 7 guys trying to kill me. This is just the sort of like the normal difficulty mode, by the way. And I think some people also complain about its like gratuitous use of gore, of like blood and guts and gore and things like that. But I feel like these are people that like probably didn't even play the originals or even know they exist. I don't know. There's a whole lot of different factors to it. If you want it summed up quite nicely, Derek Alexander, who does Stop Skeletons from Fighting, aka back in the day he was the Happy Video Game Nerd. And he did a review on this game not too long after it came out, and he pretty much put it into perspective perfectly. Like, very, very rough start, but it got really fun later on in the game. And he basically even asks in the video itself, like, did reviewers even actually play the game for more than like 15 minutes? And it's pretty unanimous. Like, people like that got into the game and actually finished it, and you know, they'll usually say, yeah, it's kind of got a rough start, and it's got some other issues like long load times when you die. But they usually also say it's redeemed by, you know, fun gameplay and you know, just a fun game overall as it progresses. Yeah, hell of a way to kick off October, that's right. Yeah, so we're going to be doing Tuesday morning streams all this month. We're also going to do the usual Thursday night streams as well. So the games I think that are going to be more popular, I've got lined up for the Thursday streams, like potentially Castlevania Symphony of the Night. I don't know, just a hint. And stuff like this that might not be as popular, I'll do on Tuesday mornings. And Splatterhouse 2010 might actually be half the month anyway, because it's going to take me 2 sessions to go through the game at least. So this is actually a classic Splatterhouse homage. There's a few of these types of stages throughout the game. And these can be really clunky if you're not used to them. Like I said, fortunately I played through this on Twitch a few weeks back, so we should be fine. Yeah, anyone out there that's played this, can you, like, I've heard the PlayStation 3 version actually has, it runs at a better frame rate, slightly at least. It's got less issues with the contrast. The contrast in the 360 version is very, very high. The contrast and the saturation. So I've actually wanted to pick up the PS3 version, but it seems like it's more expensive than the 360 one. It's like 25 bucks now, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to, you know, drop that money on it, because I already have the game on 360, so I should probably just buy a copy anyway, because, you know, you guys know how these games work. Like, they don't go down in price these days, you know, with all the collectors and stuff like that. So it's like, I might as well get it and make direct comparisons on my own. Oops, I'm pressing the wrong one. I was looking at chat. I kept mashing the B button. Alright. I'm just gonna keep grabbing as many different power-ups as I can, as quickly as I can, just to get myself up to speed faster. Looks like everything's a minimum of 1,000 now. You actually build your currency quite quickly as you play through the game. You look at the pricing of things, you're like, oh man, it's gonna take so long. But no, it actually goes pretty quickly. Legacy of Kane's Soul Reaver and how it gave you control over the camera. I don't, actually. I remember Soul Reaver, but it's been so long since I played it that I don't remember how its camera controls worked. Well, I mean, this is just a different kind of game, Cabal. I mean, as great as the old Splatterhouses are, I mean, they get repetitive pretty quickly. They're not long games. They're not hard to learn. At least that's how it was for me. I mean, especially like 1 and 2. But yeah, no, they have the originals in here as bonus content, so. Bringing back all the nostalgia. What are you talking about? This channel revolves around nostalgia. The nostalgia was already here. You just happened to jump right into it. You fell right into it, Judson. Actually, I don't, you know what's funny on this channel, I don't get super nostalgic all that often anymore because I'm always trying to like look at these games from like a, you know, a more current mindset. Like, how does the game hold up? That sort of thing. Is it still fun to play now? Yeah, I forgot. You gotta grab these guys and toss them into these spikes. So let's go ahead and get them over here. Yeah, Red Dwarf, I actually showed it off at the very beginning. You might have been away or something, or looking at something else. Yeah, Splatterhouse 1, it's a good looking game. It's a good sounding game, too. I've got a Let's Play of the FM Towns Marty version. I did it about a year ago, just before October of last year. Or maybe... Yeah, no, it was just before October, because I think I parted with my Marty before October. But it's basically the arcade version. It's pretty much a flawless arcade conversion. Hey, see you, Drowns and Kool-Aid. Thanks for stopping in. See you on Thursday.
I could say I wasn't really enjoying it.
Yeah, Cabal, I mean, I guess, you know, talking about, like, repetition is probably not the best way to put it, but the original, you know, the first two Splatterhouses, and this goes for part 2 especially, it's just that there's not a lot of variety. And, you know, again, you can run through, like, you know, Splatterhouse 2, you can probably run through it in 20 minutes, and the gameplay is just not that interesting. I guess that's kind of like my beef with the original Splatterhouses. They're style over substance. You can almost argue in a way this is kind of the other way around. There's actually a lot more to the combat system and things like that, which keeps it interesting. But it's a totally different type of action game. It's not...
Let's do some fucking carpentry.
You know, you're looking at going from just straight left and right movement to, you know, 360 degrees. Different kind of gameplay. Of course, you know, you could relate this to Splatterhouse 3, but man, even that game, ugh. Splatterhouse 3. I'm still kind of reeling off that Let's Play I did last year. It was pretty awful. Shadowgate has a great soundtrack. It does. It does, actually. I don't know. I'm not trying to be a downer. I guess I don't really have a preference as to which Splatterhouse I play when I think about it. Like, I'm playing this one right now, and I'm like, man, I'm having more fun than, like, I would if I went back to, like, part 2 or 3 right now. Being comfortable with this game goes a long ways. Like, when I was playing this on Twitch a few weeks back, I wasn't that comfortable with it until about halfway through. And it kind of just, like, takes me back to the, you know, when I first got the game. When it was, like, it was the subsequent playthroughs I had more fun with than my first playthrough. There we go, finally. Red Dwarf, absolutely, man. Yep. All this month is, you know, horror-themed video games. So there's gonna be plenty of Castlevania, there's gonna be some Splatterhouse, we've got, Devil May Cry lined up for this Thursday. The original one. And, yeah, some other stuff up my sleeve. And, you know, October is my favorite time of the year to do videos because I like playing these horror-themed games. And I know a lot of people out there like watching them. Like, Castlevania is a pretty popular topic on my channel. And so it's like I'm obligated to do Castlevania, you know, every October. But there's other stuff like Splatterhouse, Ghouls and Ghosts, stuff like that people love watching as well. And so I decided to go ahead and just up the amount of streams I do to just sort of maximize the amount of, you know, October content we can have this year. Because I know you guys like it. And it keeps me busy. Goodbye, bed. Yeah, we streamed Faxanadu a few weeks ago, actually. Actually, it was about a month ago, I think. Hey, thanks, Cabal. I'm glad you dug it. And for anyone out there watching that, didn't see me upload that one, I posted a full Let's Play of NES Shadowgate on Sunday. Chiller. Yeah, I thought about doing Chiller. I decided against it. I was like, you know, I should just play good games. I had Chiller back in the day, though, when I was, you know, going through one of my first bouts with collecting NES games. Back then, it was pretty cheap. I'm not sure what it costs now. The remaster of Faxanadu? I did not, no. Play Cuphead. I bought Cuphead on Friday. It's pretty awesome. Unfortunately, I played it for about an hour, and then I had to get prepped for something I had to go to on Saturday. and then that was an all-day affair, so I haven't gotten a chance to play it anymore, but I'll probably be able to correct that later this weekend, since I am not busy this weekend. Yeah, Cuphead is pretty sweet. If you guys have an Xbox One, or if you got a modern PC, definitely give it a try on Steam. Yeah, you should play it, Cabal. It's pretty cool, man. I actually, you know, after doing the NES Let's Play, it kind of motivated me to go back and play the remake. And it's a little more complex. So, you know, I don't know. I thought the pacing of the NES one was just, like, so perfect. But the remake it has a lot more rooms and things like that. There's a whole lot more that can go wrong.
That woman again.
West's wife. His dead wife. Looks just like your girl, don't she?
Wait. How do you know?
I'm inside your head, remember? I know what your favorite movie is. I know what your favorite cereal is. I know that when you're alone with that pretty girl of yours, you love to just...
Hey, cut it out.
Red Dwarf, yeah, Chiller was an arcade game. It was extremely violent for the time. And of all systems, it was ported to the NES. It was an unlicensed NES game. And, I don't know, it wasn't horrible, but if you go back and play it now, you're just like, ooh, man, this... Yeah.
Jennifer!
I'll eventually do a Let's Play of it. I will.
Well, I think I just found my...
What's going on? Fuck! Jenny, I'm coming.
Rick, save me. Did you hear that, Rick? I believe Jen is in fucking trouble. Let's go.
Will you just shut the fuck up?
Dude, the mask is... Oh, the mask is hilarious in this game.
Two bars. Let's do some fucking coffee.
So there is some really nice homage stuff in this game that you'll experience later on. For instance, one of the main bosses from the first Splatterhouse, you'll fight him again in this, which is really cool. There's also, later on in the first Splatterhouse, there's the mirror section, the Hall of Mirrors, and you'll basically fight those enemies as well, which is really cool. There's a lot of neat throwbacks to the originals. You know, I think it definitely helps when you're playing this game to be familiar with the old ones, because I think that is one of the fun things about the game. We're gonna try to throw this guy. Actually, I don't think I can. I don't think you can throw these guys. These are the alternate guys I was talking about. These ones in particular, they'll slice off your arms in one hit. So you just want to wail on them. Just like so. Playing Complete the Evil Within. I wanted them waited backwards. Yeah, I was watching someone play Evil Within last week on Twitch, and I don't really play survival horror games, but it looks pretty brutal. Monster Hunter Generations. Metroid Samus Returns. Nice. I was actually kind of tempted to buy Metroid Samus Returns. I might do it soon. You know, I don't play many handheld games these days. You know, even when I buy them, I don't usually play them just because I'm always at home. I'm always playing them on you know, my TV. I'm playing games on my television. But I watched some reviews on Metroid Samus Returns, and it looks pretty good. I'm pleasantly surprised by what I'm seeing.
I think of all my creations as my children now. They play in the grounds of the mansion. They make their lairs in its darkest corners. Problem. Subject's screams disturb my concentration while I'm working. Solution? Solo or sever the vocal cords. My work still requires subjects. The ritual requires sacrifices. The creatures in my mansion require feeding. Luckily, the population of the university is ample enough to provide.
Yeah, so when you see one of these blue guys, you gotta just stop everything you're doing. Because they'll pretty much just rip you in half very, very quickly. What do we got here? Ooh, we got plenty. Look at that. Alright, this is a good one. This is the one I was talking about where you can ram into enemies. It's very, very powerful. Yeah, that's good to know, Cabal. That's what I was worried about, because the 3D Castlevania, the 3DS Castlevania was not that great. Same with the Halo games, you waited and waited, backwards compatibility, and bought Master Chief Collection, and they made all the games backwards compatible. Yeah, but, you know, Red Dwarf, the Master Chief Collection is the best way to play those games, though, so, like, you were better off buying that anyway. Bravo! Like, all of the games are now 60 frames a second, they're, I mean, hell, they might even be 1080p. If not, they're at least 720p. Then you get the Halo 2 update, the anniversary edition of that. You get the anniversary edition of the first one. So, I mean, the Master Chief Collection is like one of the best bundles you can get on the Xbox One.
Gotcha, bitch! Hit him harder!
Yeah, exactly. The Master Chief Collection is so cheap now. It's so cheap, and it's still one of the best, you know, compilations you could probably ever get your hands on.
Seriously? Stop.
What are you doing? Oh, Dr. West, it's so big.
Do you ever stop talking?
Alright, boss time.
Hold it right there, Rico.
Why? It's just a...
Doll? Is that what you were gonna say? Okay, you raggedy little fucker. Let's see what you're made of. Okay, now look what you did. Me and your big mouth.
So bosses in this game, for the most part, are actually pretty easy. You can just kind of button mash your way through them as long as you're using your health regen attack or ability. You'll see what I mean. So this guy, you just want to stay far away and then get close in. I've got the ram attack now, so that'll do a lot of damage. So now we're going to run in. Now, one of the things I should have thought about in advance before doing this playthrough is that this game does use a lot of copyrighted music, like licensed music from, you know, rock and metal bands. And so there's... I'm hoping this doesn't get dinged in the system, because that's always a pain in the ass when that happens. Alright, I gotta get to the front, right? Oh, there we go. Alright, so now there's some quick time events. It's one of the annoying things about the boss fights in this game, and when you first play the game, they catch you off guard, and it's pretty much guaranteed death. So here's one, I think.
Doll's buried in there somewhere. Destroy it.
Yeah, so now I have to press Y. Ever see Dolly Dearest? No, I did not. Nope.
The war's starting to give way! Heads up! Look out!
What's it up?
Really wish you would stop moving. And that's that. Well, not after another quick time event anyway.
Shit! Bring it down!
I ain't your mama, asshole. You still don't trust me, do you, Rick?
You already know the answer.
Well, that's too bad. Trusting me is the only chance you got.
Jen! Jenny, it's me!
Rick?
You. Is it possible? I see it all now. A Mobius strip without beginning or end. Perhaps. No. Too late. Too late. A soul must make room for another. Take my advice, boy. Enjoy what little extra life that thing has given you. And don't try to follow us.
Rick!
West recognized us.
Well, you got one of those faces. Now go!
All right.
Hey,
Maybe one day I'll get one where you look like you're having fun. Dr. West? Hello? Anyone here?
we have fun. Look, I got us tickets for that concert at the Arkham Bowl tomorrow, didn't I?
You betcha. Shadow over Arkham rocks through the solar eclipse. Tell me you got backstage passes too, and I'll marry you right now.
I have no idea, Judson.
Phase 3. In the shadow of the abyss.
Have no idea. All right, stage 2.
Take it steady.
Trying to figure out how long I want to take this stream. I was figuring it was going to be about 4 hours, but at the rate we're going,
What's that?
we might be over halfway through the game in 2.5 hours or 3.
Any idea where we are?
Could be the past. Could be another world. That's the thing about hijacking a portal. It's a crapshoot.
Yeah, you must be delayed quite a bit, Judson, because when that text came through, it was just the cutscene from it was just the cutscene with Rick and Jen walking into the mansion. So, hey, see ya, Pi. Take care. Richard Doyle. Very cool. Yeah, so I'm not going to unlock these abilities until later, unfortunately, which is a shame. Alright, so I need to get my special meter up. You always want to have at least one bar available, because that's how you do your health refill attack or ability. Like right now.
Bravo!
Hey, Executioner, what's going on, man?
Kill it! Keep it coming! Well, let's show 'em what we can do. I want to see what's inside. Let me put it like this. I'm just that walled up.
Forza 7. Cool.
Boy, Ricky.
Captain Mozzarella. I mean, I guess that sort of makes sense. I don't know, not really. I usually just call him Marilyn Manson.
This is insane. I had plans. I was taking my girl to the Eclipse Rock Festival tomorrow. I was gonna ask her to marry me. I bought a ring.
Oh, that's so romantic. Might want to hold on to the receipt.
The Eclipse.
I don't remember seeing a homage to the final boss in the first Splatterhouse,
This is
though.
bad, right?
Yeah, Rick. It is bad. It's really fucking bad.
I guess we're gonna find out as we play through the game. Again. But there is actually a lot of, like, background scenery you can look at, and it's very easy to miss it. Like, in my multiple playthroughs back in the day, I didn't realize there was, like, this almost Cthulhu kind of object in this, like, almost like huge water tank, and I just never noticed it back in the day, but I noticed it in my previous playthrough. So I mean, maybe the cue to the original Splatterhouse final boss is sort of like in a similar situation.
Better run, kid.
No. I knew that was gonna happen. Like, it puts you there, and once it gives you control, it's got you facing in the wrong direction. So here's the wonderful example of the awesome load times in this game.
Better run, kid. Watch it. Get down there.
What a donkey.
So that heavy attack right there, where you do a combo and then hold the final attack, you can turn which way it's going to land. Those are very, very, very powerful attacks. Okay, so you gotta watch out for this part, because these actually break apart. I'm gonna die. Yep, I knew it.
Can you hurry up and hit continue?
Oh, they're pretty bad, Red Dwarf. Imagine doing this over and over and over and over and over and over again. That's the problem. It's like, you know, I can bear through one like every now and then, but when you get to a hard section where it's just constant death, you gotta sit and stare at this over and over again. Now, the load times are actually a little bit faster than they are straight from the disc, because this game is installed to my hard drive. So that speeds things up a little bit. Come on. Thank you. I have never heard of Chud. Jetson, I am not a horror movie buff, man, so half this stuff you're saying is just going right over my head. I wouldn't even consider myself a film buff. I might be a video game buff, though.
This place. There's something wrong with it.
I can feel it. Hear the stars starting to scream. The universe is getting afraid. It knows the corrupted are coming. Bus is blocking the way. Pale these assholes.
exactly are the Collected anyway?
They are everything and nothing. The many-angled ones. Unknown. Eternal. They inhabit the abyss. The gulf between what's said and what's understood. The place from whence stems all human suffering. Mankind can only trace their jagged silhouette around the shadow they cast across the world. Their famine.
I've seen some of those movies, Judson, but listen, man, you like list off quotes and shit like that, it's just gonna go over my head.
Something's coming.
So that's just the whole point is it's probably not even worth your breath. Yeah, no, that's why I love Oliver's channel, man, because I learned so much stuff about the films, and I think that's interesting, but I'm not the kind of person that goes around quoting stuff all day and things like that. Bravo. It's just not me, that's all. Yeah, I actually watched Kroll a lot back as a kid. I want to watch it again as an adult.
Get you some! Bring him down.
That was some lack of polish.
Nice one! Bitch. Hit him harder. Pop him like a zip. Well, this just ain't your lucky day, is it?
It's basically gore porn 80s style. Oh, jeez. Red Dwarf for one, yeah, I probably got them all already. But two, I actually on my 360 had disabled achievement pop-ups because I always felt like they took me out of the games. Yeah, when I pop in a game for the first time and it's got some really lazy achievements, that thing is just popping up all the time. And I prefer to just, you know, disable it.
Let's do some fucking carpentry.
Alright, so this is another one of the issues, or one of the areas I had issues with in the beginning.
Where do we go now?
So you need to jump up here, and it's not obvious. And now you have to jump back like this, and then run! I died here so many times when I first played this game. I'm trying. But yeah, Red Dwarf, they wouldn't have popped up anyway because I'm pretty sure I got most of the achievements in this game. It's one of those games I think that has a lot of easy to obtain achievements. And this is actually technically my 5th full playthrough of the game. You know, maybe I played through it, because I did it 3 times when it first came out on each difficulty mode. I should say, I beat it once on each difficulty mode. And then I played through it again on Twitch a few weeks ago. And I have played it on and off, you know, since then. Or, not since then, but before and after my initial playthroughs. But never actually finished it again. Yeah, so this will be my 5th full playthrough. With a bunch of other random, smaller, mini playthroughs in between. So yeah, most of the achievements have probably already been obtained.
some.
I remember this game kind of being like Clive Barker's Jericho on Xbox 360. I ran through that game. It must have been on the hardest difficulty mode. And I came out of it with, like, I swear, almost every single achievement. It was just one of those games that was just like, you get to a level, here's an achievement. You get to another level, here's an achievement. It was super simple. You get like the whole 1,000 points just for beating the game.
West is like a servant of the corrupted.
Yeah, they need servants like him. They're trapped in the abyss. They want to get free. That's what West's trying to do. Break down the barriers and let them in. The eclipse begins and the lights go out.
So things like that, you had to wait. You can't jump until it tells you to.
It's Jen.
And so there's a lot of parts in the game that are just extreme trial and error like that.
He needs her alive for this.
And it's one of the many things that makes this game hard to get into. But once you know these things, you know, they're not really problems anymore, but it is just, it's super rough around the edges on a first playthrough, which makes it difficult to appreciate. But it is one of those games that, you know, once you know this stuff, it can be really enjoyable. Same with like this part right here. Yeah, a lot of this stuff they could have just left out, honestly. They could have just made it a cutscene or something like that. But instead, they try to make it interactive, and what ends up happening is you end up just taking the player out of the experience. Especially when you can die during those sequences. A batshit story. I actually like Clive Barker's Jericho. I was really surprised by that game when I played it on PC. It's kind of mediocre in terms of like the combat, but I did enjoy the story and like the trip through it, and the differing character abilities and things like that were pretty neat. Switching between all the characters on the fly, and I'm gonna eventually do a live stream on that. But we'll probably do the PC version. No, not probably. We'll definitely do the PC version.
Fuck that thing! Keep it coming! Blood? Well, let's show what we can do. Having fun? I know I am. Paint the walls red. Yeah, yeah! Yes! Now for the fun stuff.
All right, up here. So these guys, you have to kill them. They'll make enemies invincible. So we need to focus on this big squid thing.
Tear down the pillars, Samson. Impressive.
Alright, there we go. Yeah, the contrast is so high in this version of the game. The saturation, it's crazy. I can't see what I'm doing. Game, thank you. Turning Point. I don't think Turning Point was really of interest to me. I remember checking that out, and I'm not, I don't know, it just looked like a... I don't know. Legendary, on the other hand, yeah, it is something I want to go through. Pretty sure I have it on 360. I'd rather play it on PC, but I know it's really buggy. Yeah, I don't even know where the melted head is in this Judson, so you're gonna need to go look up something on the internet for that. If it's here, it's probably hidden, because I've never seen it before. Unless you're talking about like the Statue of Liberty thing, but it's not really, I don't know.
I don't understand.
New York City, 13 months after you failed to save Jennifer. 13 months after the corrupted are set free.
Jen.
Don't weep for Jen. You'll all be joining her soon enough.
Is it too late?
We've got until the eclipse reaches totality.
Then let's go.
Hit him harder! Gotcha, bitch!
Oh man, come on. Turning Point, yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. I thought I remember watching a video and it just looked like generic military stuff, and that sort of thing doesn't really interest me.
What the fuck is that?
Alright, so this is a gameplay element that rears its head now, and this happens a few times throughout the game. And you basically have to throw enemies into it.
Feed it?
Boy, Ricky.
But yeah, I remember many years ago, Executioner, I put some time into Legendary on PC, and it seemed pretty cool. The intro especially was just crazy. You know, and it's definitely horror themed, which is nice. I mean, like, you'll fight like werewolves and stuff like that in the game. Like, that's my cup of tea, but I probably only played it for about an hour to an hour and a half.
Phase 4, the meat factory.
This place smells like shit.
I'm trying to remember how many phases are in the game. Is it like 11? Or something like that? I don't remember.
This thing, huh? Break it open!
Yeah, exactly. That intro sequence was just crazy on Legendary. You know, and it was just full of scripted sequences, but it was effective, at least for me. Yeah, it's kind of Half-Life-ish in the way it plays. It is very much so in the beginning, especially.
Trust me, if that was corrupted, your brain would be leaking out your mouth now. Get it! Oh, it's gonna be fun. Someone's watching. Someone's fucking with us.
Thanks, Red Dwarf. No, I was thinking back to my previous playthrough. I was like, did he ever say Phase 12 or Phase 13? I was like, I don't remember it, but I thought I remembered a Phase 11. Oh, come on. This is what I was talking about. These guys would just slice off your arms instantly.
You're gonna feel that in the morning.
I was trying to pick up this cleaver. These meat cleavers are some of the best weapons in the game as well.
What is that?
Here we go.
It'll slice most enemies in half in one hit.
Human?
Some say 12 phases. Okay.
What's the matter, kiddo? Weak stomach?
11, 12. It's all the same to me.
Who's this prick? Bravo! Cut it in half.
Yeah, overall we're making pretty good progress at this game, despite dying a couple of times.
What the hell is that?
It's nothing, kid. Just a trick of the light. Just curious. Does anything? You know what to do, Rick. Nice one!
Yep. Absolutely, Red Dwarf. There's a lot of it in this game. So in this part you need to, you know, whenever you see like spikes in this game, a lot of times the game wants you to attach these guys to them.
See, that's the kind of shit that got us an M rating.
Breaking the fourth wall.
Watch out! Let it touch you! Hurry! We need to get out of here, now! Kinda feels like everything we meet wants to eat us, huh? Good times, man. Oh! Some noob. Hey, mates. Impressive! Die.
Yeah, it's interesting to think about Executioner. Who knows, man?
It's like a torture chamber. There must be something we could do to help those creatures.
Yeah, because I mean, this game was in development hell for a long time. It's really interesting to think about what it would have been like. Originally. So you basically need to avoid the room that's lit up, because you'll die if you touch it. So basically you have to go from room to room here.
Keep it coming!
Alright, so now we need to switch. So when you do this grab move, then you press Y. As long as you've gotten the upgrade, you can kick enemies into other enemies, and it does some pretty good damage. It's a good way to get enemies out of your face. Alright, let's get over here.
There's nowhere to go. How are we gonna get out of here?
Yes, just like old times.
Well, that's not good. Oh, he kills you in one hit? Really? Yeah, so it looks like we need at least 3,000 for our next upgrade, and then everything else is much more.
Just like old.
No, that's not good. That's not good.
Yeah, yeah. Kill it.
Yeah. All those 2D sections gave me trouble when I first played through this game. Pretty much every single one was massive trial and error. And the conveyor belts don't help, that's for sure.
Gotcha, bitch.
Look at all these tanks. Those are empty.
Look for a trigger, some kind of switch. Paint the walls red.
Come on. Ugh. They're gonna make me come to them. There we go. Hey, buddy.
Hit him harder! Gotcha, bitch!
Yeah, there's aspects of the game that can get repetitive, like, you know, we're dealing with you having to spike these enemies. This is like the third time we've had to do that already. We're gonna have to do it again later on. But I mean, as your moves get more fleshed out, as you upgrade and things like that, the game gets more entertaining. I don't think the game really overstays its welcome. I mean, I think it is. It's like an 8-hour game. Maybe like 5 or 6 hours if you're, you know, fast at it. That's not too bad. If it was any longer than that, I think it would have had to have done some serious things to mix things up.
I'm coming.
Yes!
Man, I really want to try the PS3 version now. You know, I kind of hyped myself up about it earlier. I'm just like, man, I wonder how it compares. Is it the better version to play? Alright, so this part's a little tricky too. It's kind of like the other one where, you know, the rooms were lighting up. You had to move from room to room. For this, you got to move from platform to platform. Now we have to move over. Alright, that's what I wanted. I wanted his knife. That way I could take these guys out really fast. Speed of which... yeah, that's not worth it. Alright, so now we can roll an attack, which is cool.
Boy, Ricky.
Actually, I probably should just save this. Let's get back out. There we go.
Now we're cooking.
I know there's going to be some bigger enemies coming up in just a minute. Like right here, and we're gonna switch up. Got it.
Still wondering what I am, Rick? I'm just a mask. Waiting for the right actor to bring it to life.
Yeah, Tony, you just hit the back button and you bring up this menu. Yeah, so I mean, you can pretty much try to upgrade your abilities as fast as you can.
Now that is a good gun. Why don't you stand there? You know, genocide is such an emotive term. Now we're cooking. In this case, I feel it's appropriate. What say you? Any floor will do. Fuck it.
The elevator music.
Wait! I know this guy! Yeah, we are screwed.
Yeah, we're screwed. This guy was such a pain in the ass in the old game. Of course, if you knew how to defeat him using the shotgun trick, it wasn't that bad, but if you didn't, man, he was a pain.
Rick?
No.
Look who's back. Show him why we call it Splatterhouse.
Fuck that thing!
Exactly, Judson. Yep. Yeah, so is mine, Red Dwarf.
Jen.
You once told her you'd love her until the end of the world. It's time to prove it, Rick. The end of the world is coming.
Alright, so now we can use the Splatter Slash, which is extremely useful.
That guy's an expert in something called necrobiology. Maybe he likes to take his work home with him. Take a look at this one. It could be Aztec, I think.
Rick?
Phase 5. The corpse that wouldn't die.
Alright guys, I'm gonna use the restroom, I'll be right back.
Nice landing.
Hey, your nutsack's not fused to your chin, right? I'd consider that a successful trip.
Where are we?
You tell me, Rick.
The carvings are Mayan. I'd say we're somewhere in southern Mexico. Maybe the Yucatan Peninsula?
Very good. And wrong. Now, give or take a few hours and 100 and something feet, we're back where we started. West had all this shipped here and built into the foundations of the mansion. A lot of people have entered these catacombs. Only West ever returned. Generations of the disappeared of Arkham Town lie buried down here. And they ain't at rest.
Alright, so he just threw me right in. Go figure. Oh yeah. Yeah, same here, Red Dwarf. Those movies scared the crap out of me.
Die.
I still love the Evil Dead movies.
Nice landing.
Hey, your nutsack's not fused to your chin, right? I'd consider that a successful trip.
Where are we?
You tell me, Rick.
The carvings are Mayan. I'd say we're somewhere in southern Mexico. Maybe the Yucatan.
No, give or take a few hours. Something feet were able to start it. West had all this shipped here and built into the foundations of the mansion. A lot of people have entered these catacombs. Only West ever returned. Generations of the disappeared of Arkham Town lie buried down here.
Yeah, so we got the Splatter Slash. Awesome.
And they ain't at rest. Bravo!
Yeah, I have never actually seen Phantasm. That is one of those I do want to see. I've heard it's, you know, kind of like a must-see classic horror movie.
I want blood.
Yeah, so for the Splatter Slash, pressing L and B... Oops, wrong one. I'm a dumbass. L and X does this attack. It'll pretty much kill most enemies in one hit.
Yes!
And it does significant damage to the really large enemies. Yeah, so for me, like, my parents wouldn't usually show me, like, really scary movies. But I did have neighbors that would watch the stuff all the time, and so that's how I experienced a lot of, you know, like Evil Dead 2, for instance. That was not good for my, you know, 5 or 6 year old mind. But my parents did show me the, they intentionally showed me The Exorcist. So there were still some, like, some really scary ones I saw as a kid. My parents were totally okay with it.
Some. Nice one.
I have a feeling that's enough.
Pick that up. You're gonna need it later.
Something slimy is when it comes.
Hey, Catherine, how are you doing? Good morning, good morning.
Not good.
You started working again. Nice.
Pissed, huh? I can't wait to beat it.
Yeah, Red Dwarf, I'm very wary of modern horror movies because it's... there's so many jump scares and loud noises and things like that, and it just doesn't really do it for me.
And he's crazy enough to think that the corrupt...
I kind of just roll my eyes when I see like horror movie previews, and it's just like silence, and then BAM! Just like intentional loud noise. Just like, come on, that's not scary. Yeah, I went boo! I jumped, but that's not scary to me. It's just, it's dumb. A lot of older horror movies, like they get under your skin, and many newer horror movies I've seen don't do that. She goes, horror movies now suck.
Now why is there a big fucking eye down here? Ah, who the hell cares? I just want to see what's behind it, eh? So, I don't know, kill it. Now for the fun stuff. Fuck that thing!
I still have no idea where the eyeball actually goes. I'm not one to normally question video game logic, but in this situation, yeah. Event Horizon, yeah, that bothered me in high school. I watched it in high school and I was just like, well, I wish I didn't see that. Of course, I watched it again when I was older, you know, when I was probably like 25 or 26 or something, and I don't remember it bothering me then. Alright, so here's another trial and error part. Look at that, first try. Yeah. At least something like Five Nights at Freddy's, you know, like you're put on edge through the gameplay. The jump scare is just like, kind of like the end result. You're tense all throughout it. But a modern horror movie, a lot of modern horror movies, I don't want to say all of them are bad, but you know, the popular ones you see in theaters, they, I don't know. Just,
Yeah.
If anyone's watching, like, the archive of this later on, feel free to drop a comment below if you're familiar with some modern horror movies that don't suck.
Gotcha, bitch! Make him suffer! Is inside. Bravo! Oh, nasty!
Session 9. I'll have to look that up.
can you beat up at the same time?
Oh, jeez. Come on, thank you.
Wait. The Aztec mask, is that... I've got an Aztec demon inside my head?
But they're Mayans. I'm so embarrassed. Fuck them, they all taste the same.
Yeah, I've never seen it either. Never even heard of it.
Pissed it off.
There we go.
Ricky.
All right.
Shall we?
Yeah, Return of the Living Dead was one of the ones I watched a lot as a kid. It's one of those movies I probably shouldn't have seen as a kid, but it's one of those ones my neighbors had. We would watch it all the time.
Phase 6. Beast with a human heart. Welcome to the house that West built. We've been channeling the power of the dead through these halls for almost a century. The grunt that's into us is seeking through the cracks in the walls. Become being alive. Coming.
You still haven't answered my question.
What am I? The real question is, what are you? The good guy? If you're the good guy, then stop me before I kill again. But you ain't, are you? No. I'm just an expression.
Yeah, I wasn't. I did watch the Evil Dead remake. I wasn't the biggest fan of it. It definitely seemed like it was more about the gore porn than it was about actually being like legitimately scary.
Snap it in half.
The characters are pretty despicable too. I hate it when like you got horror movies and the characters are unlikable. I mean, movies in general with unlikable characters. I mean, it depends on the character. If the guy's supposed to be an asshole, then okay, that's fine. But, I mean, in Evil Dead, the remake, it was... nobody was likable in that damn movie. So you don't sympathize with the characters dying. All right.
Like a heartbeat.
Alright guys, so this is probably going to be our last stage for the stream. So I know after this we go to the carnival place. And then there's another futuristic-esque boss. And then I think we go to the final set of stages. Yeah, so we'll save that for next week. If I didn't work until much later tonight, I would actually do the whole game in one sitting today, but... Oops. Unfortunately, I can't. So, yeah, it's definitely going to be a two-parter. But we definitely made some good time. I think I'm actually going through this faster than I did a couple weeks ago on Twitch. It helps to be familiar with this game when you play it. I mean, any game is like that, you know. If it's fresh in your mind, it's easier to go through on subsequent runs.
So what is it you think I really am?
Oh, you're a killer.
No, I'm doing this for Jen.
Oh, come on. It's not just what you do, it's who you are. You've always been a killer. In another life, in another game. You've always known it. Felt that urge? You just tried to bury it. You've been wearing a mask your whole life. It's time to embrace it. This is who you really are.
You're wrong.
Am I?
Hello. Indeed, you are. I am here too.
I removed this sculpted bone. I created things both unnatural and wonderful. I enjoy my work. I've seen hundreds, thousands.
No thanks. Exactly, Red Dwarf. Hey, Cabal, you're still there. Oh darn, he's gonna unsub from me. I should feel so bad. I have never even seen you before. So goodbye. There we go.
I could say I wasn't really enjoying myself, but it would be a lie.
Right on, Cabal. Okay, cool, man.
Kill it.
It is October. It's my favorite time of the year. Halloween is just around the corner. The weather starts cooling down a little bit. Not unbearably cold. It cools down to a very, very nice level that I like. And I have an even greater excuse to play Castlevania. Or Splatterhouse. So in this this part, you gotta keep these guys from attacking the machinery. No, I wouldn't say Simon's Quest plays a lot like Xanadu. It feels totally different.
Almost there.
I mean, it's a similar setup. Non-linear.
Hit him harder.
I have played 8 Eyes.
Make up something.
It's too far away.
Gotcha, bitch.
Yeah, I don't think Blood's ever gonna get a reboot, unfortunately. Yeah, but Judson, I mean, a lot of games are similar to that. When I think similar, I think of actual gameplay mechanics, and Xanadu is a super stiff, strict game, whereas Castlevania 2 is much more fluid. I mean, it's Castlevania, except it's non-linear. I mean, there's a lot of games like that that have been released over the years. So, I mean, you could draw that comparison to many other games, not just Castlevania 2, but both games feel completely different, despite being non-linear.
Trash it.
Really not sure what you're talking about, Judson. Why does the player character always jump so high yet not very far? I mean, I guess it depends on the game. There's a crap ton of 8-bit games out there.
I want to see what's inside. Yes! Coming. Oh, nasty. Good boy, Ricky.
Alright, health increase.
Bravo! Impressive.
Ah, come on. There we go.
Good at this now, Rico. Sound of bodies bursting. Feel of flesh tearing in your hands. Ooh, admit it. The power, the strength. You like it, don't you? Don't you?
Yeah. No, no. You're confusing me. I can't think.
Oh, you don't need to think, Rick. That's what you got me for,
Yes, this is what I was talking about earlier. Get this big ass thing in here. It was funny, like when I first played this game, when it first came out, I was still using a standard definition CRT. You know, I didn't get an HD TV until 2013. And so like I just ran through this part, I didn't even notice there was something in there. What is it, Red Dwarf? I have no idea. It's just some kind of creature. But they talk about, you know, Cthulhu and things like that in this game. So it makes you wonder.
Calm yourself, Lenora.
It's Jennifer, you dick!
Mr. Taylor, it's said that a man's true character is reflected in the fruits of his toil. I think it's time you got to know me a little better.
So much suffering. It's beautiful.
Kill it!
It in half.
So in this fight, you can get knocked off the edge, and if that happens, it's instant death. So you gotta watch out for that.
bitch!
Oh, that was close.
Boy, Ricky. Now you're getting it, Rico. Keep it coming.
Rick, what am I going to do with you? You just...
Look at you. Look at what you've become. Revel in death. And for what?
For Jenny.
Oh, my dear boy. You're a monster. A sideshow freak. You think she'll want you now?
Oh, I swear, if you hurt her again...
That's the spirit. On with the show.
You have my word. I'll be a gentleman. To the end.
Interesting place. Who's the architect? Edgar Allan Poe?
You don't have to come.
Oh, and leave you alone in there with Dr. Weird?
Okay, so he's a little eccentric, but he asked for me specially, remember?
Gee, I wonder why. Hey!
Another one for my collection. Rick Taylor, the man behind the mask. That's the story I want to get. Maybe one day I'll get one where you look like you're having fun.
Phase 7. Scream Park. Everything's just dandy.
This is a corrupted place of power.
Maybe someone built this place on the wrong piece of Earth. Maybe something bad happened here once. Don't take much for something good to go bad.
Alright guys, that's pretty much going to do it for me today. Yeah, it's about 3 hours in. I think it's probably going to take us about another 2 hours, maybe 3, depending on how well I do to get through the rest of the game. And, like I said, if I went to bed, went to work a little bit later tonight, I think I would be able to actually finish this in one sitting. But, unfortunately, I don't, and so I've got to get to bed soon. But, this is a pretty cool level. It's actually probably the best level in the game from, like, a visual standpoint. There's a lot of really cool things here. Gameplay is still pretty much the same, as you guys have witnessed. So, on Thursday, I'm going to be back with my normal Thursday night stream. Next Tuesday, I'll continue Splatterhouse 2010, and we should finish the game. And then the next few Tuesdays after that, I've got a couple of other random games lined up. With my final upload for October being on Halloween, actually. It's going to be another live stream on Halloween Day itself. Yeah, no problem, Red Dwarf. Thanks for hanging out. Same with you, Cabal, Judson. This place reminds you of Carnival. Yeah, that's a cool game. Tony. Likewise, man. So yeah, if you guys have any last minute questions or comments or anything, I can hang out for a few more minutes, but unfortunately I don't have the other 2 or 3 hours that's going to be needed to get through the rest of the game. And my chat keeps acting up. It keeps wanting to scroll up for some reason. It's so weird. So I apologize if that blue arrow kept popping up on the chat, the embedded chat in the stream. Not really sure why it's doing that. The YouTube chat window could be a little weird sometimes. Yeah, let's go ahead and just go back to the title screen. There's a sequel to The Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I had no idea that was a thing. So no. Because I didn't even know it existed. Or was going to exist. I watched the original movie a lot. Yeah, especially when I was younger. But I didn't know there was going to be a sequel. I wonder how many jump scares it'll have. You know, modern horror movie and all, it's got to have jump scares. See, there it goes again. Stop doing that. Due out next year. Okay. What were some of those other horror movies you guys mentioned? That I can potentially look up. Yeah, Tony, I showed it off on stream, on Thursday night, man. You were here, and I showed you I got Stunt Race. And then unless you popped out, but I was saying bye to everyone, you were like, okay, see ya, and then I was like, oh wait, check this out, and I showed it off. So yes, Tony, I got the Stunt Race. Thank you very much. In case you missed it last week. Now, why everyone's seen The Ring, guys? Come on. And The Ring is, yeah. Ah, man. Oh, jeez. Yeah, I probably only going to be interested in the ones that don't look dumb. Like Chud looks dumb. Sorry, sorry, Judson. Deadly Spawn. Let's see. Oh, geez, the worms. Yeah, that's what you're... Okay, I see what you're talking about there. Oh my god, this looks crazy. Wow, that looks kind of ridiculous, actually. That could be interesting. Yeah, I see what you mean as far as that's where they got the ideas for the boar worms. Wasn't there one other one you mentioned? It was like ghosts, something ghosts. I don't remember. Seeding of a ghost. Okay. There's not much on there on seeding of a ghost. I guess it's because it's the Chinese movie. At least there's not really much on IMDb. Weird. Alright, I was just curious to check out some of those real quick. I looked them up on IMDb just to see what they were about. So, alrighty guys, well with that, I'm going to go ahead and head out. So, if you hung out or if you checked out the past broadcast, thanks again for watching. Like I said, I'll be back on Thursday with my normal, regularly scheduled stream. And, next Sunday will be another Let's Play, and it's all horror-themed stuff for this month. And then next Tuesday I'll be back, and we'll finish up the second half of Splatterhouse. Yeah, the Japanese horror movies are usually pretty, yeah, definitely the types of movies that usually get under my skin, so... But yeah, all right guys, take care. Thanks for watching, and once again we will we'll throw those Patreon backers across the screen. So thank you, Patreon backers, all of you out there. And we'll go ahead and throw those super chatters throughout across the screen as well. So, last 30 days of super chatters. Hey, take care, Gabal. Red Dwarf, Tony, Judson. You guys take it easy. Alright, guys. Have a good day or good night wherever you are. And I'll see you in a couple days on my next stream.